All right, so took a few trades this morning. So let's go over these. So the buy setup. While I'm going over this, there's three, I think in anything that you do, there's three kind of basic phases. And this applies in, like I said, anything that we do. There's the first learning phase. And in that learning phase, it kind of merges with the understanding. So you start to learn, and then you come to a point where you're understanding it. You get it. You have those aha moments. And so the understanding phase would be the second. And then the final phase, which is by far the most difficult phase, is the action phase or doing phase. It's when you're implementing what you've learned and what you understand. But by far, that is the most difficult part because it's where the emotions and all the fun stuff starts to come into play. But with whatever you've done in your life, you go back and these three phases would occur in any adventure. And the trick of getting through the last phase of this is just continue to do. And while you're doing it and you're going through that action part, keep kind of working on the learning and understanding if you're having an emotional struggle doing what you understand. But be careful, the mind loves to use the learning part and the understanding part to keep you out of the action part. And you'll never be successful until you get through the action part. This is the final step. The mind will use a ton of tricks to keep you away from that. So keep working at it. And it should be, at the very beginning, you should be heavily into the learning, right? And you kind of have a little bit of understanding and a little bit of action. And then when you start getting to the understanding part, right, the figuring out, the learning should start to slow down, right? The studying, the learning, you're starting to get an understanding, and your action is starting to increase. And then when you finally said, hey, I understand this, I got it, should be very small learning, not really learning anything more. And the understanding in trading is like back testing, like historical data, keep looking at it, seeing it to believe it type deal. But the action should be enormous on that part. And most people, and when they're in the action and things start going wrong, they shrink the action phase and go back into the first two phases, and that's how we get stuck and in that loop. So hopefully this helps. Have a great one. If I've been able to do this, you can too, and we'll see you next video.